Thank you very much, Puckett. Yes, a game with a few connotations as it moves forward. Obviously, Røkkr still very firmly in that bubble, but for Thieves, they haven't been having a good time at this stage, Tom.
No, not at all. And really, they do want to be starting in the winners bracket. We see them towards the end of the last season. The exact same roster went back to back at the very end of our Vanguard season. Can they do it again here? I mean, well, if it was all three events, yeah, okay, there's them on the table. But if they want to do that, they do probably need to start in the winners bracket side of things. Give yourself all those opportunities to iron out any creases when we do get there, etc., etc. But this is not going to be an easy game, I don't think. For them, though, the only positive is that Minnesota have got that new roster coming in. It's going to take some time to get Attach and Fame back up and running. Of course, Fame now moving to the SMG, which he traditionally did play with when it went towards the Challenger scene towards the beginning of the year, whereas Attach slotting back into that AR role. For me, I think for Minnesota here, yes, okay, a win would be brilliant, but just getting some decent reps underneath their belt. They need the wins, yes, but a good performance would also not be too bad.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this new roster kind of plays out. Old faces as they go towards the same, and Cammy trying to stay alive from pressure that he knows is coming. His teammates don't really have his trade as Draza gets one. And already Thieves looking for that P2 push, but Tan, again, I think you're very correct here. This is all about figuring out, are Thieves better this week? Is this new Røkkr roster worth everything?
We will see. Looking towards this rotation over towards P2. LA Thieves will manage to find those initial kills and get this locked down. Attach trying something from the alley side, not going to work this time. Thieves, though, when it does come down to this map, I mean, you talk about all the trifecta, if you like, of different things you need to be good at this map in terms of holding, breaking, and rotations. They're in the top 3 for all of those 3 things. So, I mean, it's a good start line to have. Right now, though, it looks like they are going to be broken. Fame on the SMG, finding 2 down the middle. Octane with 3 of his own, though. They are still steady at Sam's hands.
This is exactly what Røkkr didn't want. Started off on the slightly better side. Got a little bit of time for it, but nothing else. And now have to run into the teeth. Already set up Thieves here. Røkkr really aren't ready for this push yet either. They don't have the positions in. It will be 1 kill under Fame, but already Envoy's going to try and shut down the back alley by himself. We'll have Overwatch as well. Doesn't even need it. There's the 3-piece. There's a difficult break. And while Bance will have a kill, it will mean nothing.
I mean, even just a trade onto Envoy there. Bance with a kill through the middle. You're looking good if you're Røkkr. Fame will eventually find 2, though. Eventually a 3rd. Well played from Fame. Isn't actually going to be the 4th to clean things up. Not quite. Gets a little bit overzealous. So now Thieves stacking through towards the alleyway. Can they find a push through? Envoy from the top side. Can they find a break? Looking like Minnesota Røkkr are going to hold on to this scrap. Rotation's there for them as well. This fight for 15 seconds. Envoy will win it. And that's the scrap time over towards Thieves. Setup is here for Røkkr, though, as we head over towards P3. Not too bad from Røkkr. Yeah, okay, you lose it off the initial, but you get 5 back. Don't allow Thieves that full 60. Not too bad of a hold there from the Røkkr towards the end.
A lot has been said about Fame being put in the position people expected him to be in. Will he be the difference? Envoy looking for this first break. Playing around with the doors, waiting to put the pressure on. It's a compressed puck here from Røkkr. They are all together, trying to fight through every single way. Cammy will hold the first down. Last kill coming through will be attached. There's the first hold that Røkkr needed onto this one for Thieves to spawn out and to try again.
Just brilliant kills coming in from Cammy. He finds 2 to really, I want to say, stagger Thieves at that stage. You know, they don't have the numbers after they find a kill onto Bance. And, well, actually, look at this rotation that's going on as well. It's worked out perfectly for Røkkr. They find the kills on towards the rotation. They find the kills for the scrap. It's wonderfully played. The kills fall into place at the right time. Can you hold down towards Barbershop, though? Bance is the important player here. Can he find even 1 or 2 kills? That would be good.
Oh my goodness. Bance. Oh, my goodness. He's held it. He's held it. He's held it for every single kill. And that is just unfortunate. Octane must have just missed him here. Bance still staying alive, trying to find his 3rd as well. It is problems in Cantina. Eventually, Thieves get the kills. They now have the numbers.
Absolutely love that from Bance, but can they do anything with his good player? The answer is very little. 10 seconds it took for LA Thieves to find a way through. And all of a sudden, Minnesota Røkkr are spawning out. And, I mean, look, I love the heads-up play from Bance, but ultimately, you need the rest of your team to do their end of the bargain. Kills coming in from Cammy, though, who's had a really good start. Attached alongside of him. It was 3 for Cammy to break things open. But Fame sitting at 10-5. You know, we asked the question, can he hang on the SMG? So far, so good. It's a 30-point lead for Røkkr. Rotation over towards the next hill, though, firmly there for the side of LA Thieves. Røkkr very resolute on this hill, I want to say. Never really give anything up. Constantly fighting around it. Kenny is going to find 2 for that potential scrap time. Can't let that go over so easy. Kenny's just found 3 all on his own, Bryce. You can't let it happen if you're Røkkr. That's 10 seconds given up to Thieves for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and without that rotation, it brings Thieves a little bit further back into this game. Fame trying to make a difference as he flies by himself. Wants pressure, wants his teammates to get in a position where if he pushes, they'll be distracted. Because I'll tell you something, if you run in here straight into the teeth of Thieves, you are going down.
Need to coordinate well. First one, is going to be Fame. The rest of the team now going to kick in action as well. If he can find a second, that would just be absurd. Oh my goodness me. Fame with the second. Cammy and Bance cleaning up. A wonderful, wonderful break from Minnesota Røkkr.
And they are doing business here. They've just broke Thieves on this hill. Let's find out how the new team, new comms works out with the Minnesota Røkkr. Listen in.
Zig. Got 2. Nice. Finesse still. We've got it. I'm going. Yeah. Dart, last guy. On the heady. On the heady. He's gonna get me. On the heady, Kenny. Play ready, Anu. Kenny on ult. I'm going top end. I'll pick up hedge, okay? If someone picks up. Shit. Yeah, I'm looking tunnel. Pick up tunnel. I'm gonna stop flipping. Tunnel. I'm telling you tunnel. Shit. I'm you tunnel. I need tunnel. I'm looking for tunnel. I can shot tunnel. If you go short tunnel. Yeah. Income long though. Close before. Yeah. Nice. Deep. Tunnel. Tunnel. 2 tunnel. Go. Last heady. Get time, someone. Yep. Yeah, deep. One more P4. One more. They spawn P4. Close P4. Coming up. There's at least 2 there. I'm full stunned. I'll get our tunnel. You guys focus on the low. Lower, you guys. He might run out about. There's 2. He's jumping up. Come on. Nice. There's 1 more under you. I got 1 mid. One shot. Last guy upstairs. Kill me, Kenny. He's Kenny. Nice, good shit. I'm moving time. Stay low. Yeah, I someone hedge. Let's think about neither. Yeah, Ben, you tunnel. I'm shoot from mid, Cam. Nice. I'm on hedge. Short. I need the short. Yeah, one guy on hedge still. Listen, they can go people truck. If people truck, last guy tunnel. Last guy tunnel. Draz, I don't know. I think he's gone balcony and you do. I'm helping. I'm guaranteeing T, okay? Yeah. P4. I have the whole mid. Yeah, 2 ult. They're gonna play for. I'm playing up middle. Said one's already P4. Yeah, one's gate. Yeah, he's gate. One shot me. Okay, you got in. One on gate. Last guy old. Okay. Playing up alley. Time.
I don't know what's more impressive that comes from Minnesota or Fame finally on an SMG and burning his way through the Thieves. This new roster is working at the moment. They have the advantage, they have the rotations and the holds.
Looking so good from them. The breaks have been phenomenal, and that's where their best stats lie. 7th in break percentage. We've seen them look good, but the holds have been wonderful as well. And look at these kills coming in from Bance SMG AR. You can get it done with whatever he wants. For me, it's been Røkkr on the rotations, though. They've been seemingly winning the fights nearly every single time at the important moments. It is a 110-point lead and rising. Thieves have got to turn it on very, very quickly. They've been subpar so far.
And they're looking for it. He thinks it's something in that corner. They're not going to be. Cammy's now on a 5 himself. Will eventually drop down. Bance just wants these final 13 seconds, but Thieves look like they're going to take it away. Kenny will as well. Røkkr setting up for P2. The fight for P1 starts now.
Octane positioned over towards spawn side. Gonna wait for the rest of his team to maybe find a push through the mid-map as Minnesota Røkkr will stack towards the tunnel. Light gonna start coming on through. Fame once again, the entry is there. Bance not there to follow it up though. Envoy is having a good game. They're really the only one from Thieves in terms of the kill department that's getting much done. But Octane with that pinch, we've talked about it so many times. The positioning from him, wonderful. Not gonna be enough to get the job done on rotation over towards P2. Good hold from Røkkr so far.
And this is where they're doing. They just want to bleed Thieves all over this map. Try and contest P1 a little bit, but hold for this P2. Last time, Thieves snapped them like a dry twig. Can they do it again?
Managed to find the kills on the initial through the middle. Kenny with a snap onto attach as well, but the next couple are the important ones. Octane's found a way through. They absolutely need this hill. Still 100 points and now rising is the hold over towards the middle hill for Røkkr will start to come through. Octane will then fall as well, so it's going to have to be through the alley. The rest of LA Thieves, 5 seconds until this one pops. Kenny's in.
Kenny's going to find a bit of attack. Will lay down. Draza for the trade as well, but Cammy gets one more. 1v1. Envoy eventually gets into it. The Thieves have found their way through. They've now got to get through the gauntlet. Reinforcements flying in. The only player here from Røkkr really is going to be Bance, and all he'll be doing is making sure his teammates can get through hedges as effectively as possible.
Oh my word, the braking from Røkkr has been absurd all game long. Kenny, we'll see on the respawn screen. It's another kill coming in for Cammy. Sitting at 22 and 17, and it's felt like every single one that we've seen has been so important for the squad. The braking from Røkkr has been phenomenal. They can win it here at P2, and they may well do so, Bryce. 20 seconds to go.
Cammy's alive! How dare you shoot at me, Top Cantina? This is unbelievable. Røkkr are looking like a dominant hardpoint team, and that hasn't been said in some time.
And the rotation is going to be on for them as well. Thieves have to commit to this scrap time, and it's all about the fight here. Fame left all alone. I would like to see some Røkkr players get them some backup. They are on their way. 12 seconds for Minnesota Røkkr. It's one decent break, it's one decent hold, and you'll take a lead in the series. Fame waiting for the rest of the team, and here they come.
There he goes. This is everything for him. He's waited patiently for it as well. Gonna find the one teaming up with Bans and just pre-firing. It's another break from Røkkr. They didn't have the numbers. Kenny, can he be the hero for him with 5 seconds left to go? He will have to jump this himself. He can't do anything else. And fall he does. And it's all Røkkr in this first hardpoint of Mikado. 16 maps before this. 1 win. They've just doubled it.
Thoroughly impressive performance, to be honest with you. Fame on the SMG. Hey, they should have had him on a long time ago because the boy was fried. But everybody from Røkkr had a really good time. Ban sitting there at 24 and 14. I want to say in Fame, maybe even slowed down towards the end. The rest of the team picking up, well, if you want to call it slack, we'll call it slack, but a really good performance from the Minnesota Røkkr. We were wondering whether or not, you know, in terms of how this team were going to set up. Yes, okay, they've all kind of played together in a certain kind of way, but with the change that came through, we were questioning whether it would be good enough against the Thieves. So far, so good. 1-0 for Minnesota Røkkr. Thoroughly impressive performance.
And the question that is now probably echoing across the landscape of Call of Duty esports is why on earth was Fame ever anything but an SMG all the time? Dominant performance out of him. I mean, the stats, he slowed down a little bit. 26 and 20 towards the end. It didn't get the most damage on his team, but when we saw him, was when they needed him the most. The breaks, something Røkkr have struggled with, especially we didn't expect to see it against a team like Thieves.
I mean, we talk about Thieves, and the hallmark of their hardpoint is really about their breaking, isn't it? You know, they have notoriously been the best team in the game. You see their averages when it comes down to it for breaking hills over the season. It is very much up there in every single map. It's what they kind of rely on for the majority of their plays, and something actually Chance brought up before we headed into this one. When it comes down to P2, they are the best team by far at breaking it. But the majority of the time, they actually had the rotation over there and got broke back themselves. So maybe a taste of their own medicine. But Minnesota Røkkr on the break were phenomenal. I want to give them maximum credit, but it just felt like some of the fights were, I don't want to say easy, but it seemed like Røkkr just had a real good eye on where Thieves were coming from. The communication must have been really solid between the boys, because the gunfights were aplenty, especially for players like Cammy. Look, we were looking in the first half with Cammy's stats. Wasn't necessarily setting the world on fire, but this kind of moment in Top Cantina, I think he found 5 or 6 in a row before he did fall. A snap round over towards the Hedges side, and if Cammy's playing like that, Minnesota Røkkr are going to win more than just this map. Really good performance from them. The breaking was ever so impressive. I think we'll probably see another hard point. Will we get another look at how good that breaking could potentially be on Fortress? Thieves are going to have to find a map in the next 2 if we are wanting to see that.
And here's the question. Honeymoon period clearly starting for Røkkr. Highest KDs, Bans 1.7, Fame with a 1.3, Cammy with a 1.37 attached. Well, he's been slow before, but it doesn't really matter because your teammates are getting all the kills in front of you. What matters that final score? 250, 1-2-3. And I think everybody can relax now for a second. This series is not over. There is much more COD to be played. But I suppose one of the things we were asking is how does the new Røkkr look? And so far, so good.
Yeah, I honestly, I want to actually apologize to the sense of, like, I didn't really pay attention to what Attach was doing because everybody else was just absolutely fine. It was hard to say. Well, look, we'll keep an eye on him throughout the rest, but 15 and 19, first one back in. Hey, look, I'm sure he's been playing rank play, but you've got to get back into the swing of things. You know, it's a very different story, as many of the former professionals will tell you. Different ball game when it does come to the CDL games. 250 to 1-2-3, Mikado on point win. By the way, that's not just a win against Thieves on a very solid map in Mikado for them. That is a body. Very, very solid win.
Well, Thieves have not had a good qualifier.
No.
And realistically, Røkkr is one of their easiest matches. We said before, 15 and 1 was it now? It's now going to be 16 and 2. No, 15 and 2. Sorry. Bad maths from me. I'll give them double the win. They got double the points. But the question is this Røkkr so much better than the Røkkr before? I think there's merit to it. But what is happening to Thieves? That's another question we've got to look at here. They've not had a good start in this qualifier. They seem very, very confident. Maybe they're just waiting for the event again.
I think it's hard to be that consistent, though, isn't it? I think, you know, so far through the season, the only consistent team we've kind of seen towards the top is FaZe. That's why they're sitting in #1, because the results, for all, you know, they would expect more from themselves, have been consistently near the top. But a lot of the other teams have kind of been up and down for the most part. LA Thieves, yeah, okay, they're going to win the event. Over in Columbus, it is hard to string them together. You know, that's because last year, how much do we talk about that run from New York to champs when they went back to back? We bigged that up so much because it was so difficult to do in this day and age when it comes down to competitive Call of Duty. It's a difficult thing to do. Everybody here is fighting for their lives in terms of trying to make the champs, specifically Minnesota. It's never an easy game. No easy games in the CDL.
Well, here's what comes next. An S&D. I feel like the Røkkr hype train has just got off to a really big start because Thieves are an incredible team. But COD doesn't end in a hard point unless it goes to map 4, but it doesn't end in the first. S&D is a very different ball game than Control. And if we keep going, a lot more COD to be played. Right now, Attacks looking for the wall bang, not finding anything, and there's first blood.
First blood to Kenny, and over towards the LA Thieves, the #1 first blood team in the game, up against the 11th here in Minnesota Røkkr. So, something to keep an eye on. Røkkr gonna have to work on not giving away some lives, but what's the rotation gonna be? The fight goes on over towards A. That's when the initial kill comes through, or more towards the middle of the map. So Røkkr still with options. LA Thieves not with necessarily too much information, but they're happy to sit tight.
Envoy may play spoiler here. Realistically, just trading his life for 2 versus 3 will be worth it. Minnesota Røkkr have lost information. He's going to find Octane, bringing it back to a 3 versus 3. And Røkkr's still wondering if that bomb was down there. I know they killed Bance over towards A, and I think that's what they're thinking, that it might be out there.
I just really love the play from Cammy, to be honest with you. Just holds the angle from Sofas. No, there's usually a player going to be lingering around there if you give up that side of the map. Keep an eye on Fame, though. Oh, he might get some bad timing, but Kenny draws that. We'll find the first 2 over towards the side, and then Fame's going to get shot in the back. Nicely done from Thieves. They snap at the right moment. Bit of bad timing there for Røkkr. I actually like the positioning from Fame, and where he was sitting, it would have obviously been that late flank. Yeah, look, he's ready and waiting to get in the position to help his teammates out. But, well, if your teammates die, you can't help them.
I think the play there may have been Thieves calling out with that first blood onto Bance that they were still expecting the A hit. You have to give LA Thieves full confidence for sitting there and waiting. Envoy was on his island, but nobody really pushed him forward. After Cammy got that 3 versus 3, you may have seen Thieves move, but they didn't. Held their nerve, held the positioning. And eventually, Røkkr, when they moved over, they just got gunned from every single angle.
Another #1 stat, actually, for the LA Thieves is preventing the bombing going down on this map specifically. Alongside the First Bloods, they are the best team in the game at doing so. Another successful job done against Røkkr there. No chance to plant whatsoever. Took their time, slowed down by Thieves. Illustrated though through the middle of the map. 3 versus 3 now. A lot of pressure being put on the Cammy. Should be taken down and is. And now it's a 3 versus 2 for the side of LA Thieves.
Trying to keep this pressure up as well as they jump onto the point. Bance and Fame not going to be near this. They are going to be outnumbered as bomb goes down. And Fame waiting, hoping that somebody falls into his web. But they are not moving for him, and Fame will have to make the first move. Finds the first, will go down. 1 versus 2 now for Bance, but it's not a great position for him.
28 seconds. Plenty of time. Play on bedroom is going to be the big issue here. You got to check it. You got to check pretty much everything as you find this push out. Octane's going to be holding it. Gets the sound cue. 2-0 to Thieves. And really, you can see that Røkkr are playing around what Fame can do. He's seemingly the playmaker. Minnesota Røkkr on this map. And rightfully so. Sitting at 1.53 over the last 6 maps since he joined Røkkr. In terms of when it does come down to search and destroy on Hotel. Minnesota 4-2 over those 6 maps. So for all the records, sits at 8-8. It is better with Fame in the roster. And he is the player trying to make things happen. But so far, so good for Thieves. Quick bounce back. We'll just halt Røkkr in their traps. You know, when you... Tracks, not traps. Honestly, words difficult. Anyway, Thieves look good.
Here we go. Sniper out from Octane. Bats will get the first blood. But they don't know that he's here, and Attach is going to show him some eyes. And those will be plucked out by the Raven of Octane. Now, with this sniper active, Røkkr will be shy about this site.
Cammy's still lingering. causing issue. And Envoy now heading over towards the B side. He may well get some sound cue shortly. Yep, there you go. Well, the grenade will be the cue. The rest of Thieves now will find their way over. Can Røkkr get this down in time? Can Envoy stop anything happening?
He's going to bang the door open and he's going to put a nade out as well, and he's going to get bounced. And now, Røkkr, oh, that's a huge first kill. Bring it back to a 2 versus 2. You can see Cammy swinging into action. He's left alone. It's another clutch for them, and Octane says easy kill in the end, but it's Draza who gets it. And Draza on a 5 streak. Nothing Minnesota is doing is working.
Draza finding that opening break. Envoy does a really good job just to find one. The rest of the team are on their way. And then Draza finding that one through the side door. And as soon as that happens, you're in a 1v2 in that site. You can just get collapsed on from so many different angles if you're Cammy. Fuse will come through. LA Thieves looking very, very comfortable on Hotel. Just prevented Fame from really doing a great deal. Hasn't been able to get things going. Thieves slow and steady. Seems to be winning the race, but checking this out from Octane. Pixels at best. Welcome back to the CDL attach.
And this is the exact reason why I said we had to pause the Røkkr hype train to begin with. Call of Duty series, they are not best of 1. They are best of 5. And speaking of 5, Draza looking for that cruise.
Not too far off, and that would be another nail potentially in the coffin of Minnesota Røkkr here on the search and destroy. Changing it up, you can see this positioning over towards the mid-map. Happy to just stick and move wherever they need to determine where Thieves are actually trying to find their attack. Attack will find the first blood. Second kill though, surely going to come in for Envoy. Yes, it will do, but Fame can trade that out. 3v2, first time that Røkkr have really had much of an advantage, and it's gone.
Okay, well, Octane's still alive. He's on a 3 streak. But he's alone against Cammy and Attach. All ARs all the time, and Cammy's going to be caught. Wait a minute! No! Not caught, and Cammy can't believe it himself. Shocked faces from Røkkr as Cammy looks like he was jumping sideways. It's a pass! Oh my goodness.
I'd be upset. I'd be very upset. I'm sure that thing got niffed.
That is unfortunate for Octane. I thought he had it. I thought it was down to a 1v1.
Yeah, that's a toughie. I mean, look, positioning was actually not too bad if he finds that gunfight. It's all to play for. And the bomb. But Cammy. Well, guns him out of his socks, apparently. Great shots coming through. Now, Røkkr, what's the play now? Really have struggled to get much of a hold on over towards A. LA Thieves have been playing this nicely. That stun is going to cause Vance a lot of problems. 54 HP will survive. For me, Cammy has to do a big job here because he's looking like the positioning to maybe flank or find something through the middle of the map. Røkkr yet to find themselves in a position to get that bomb. Fame still holding tight, watching the flank himself. Vance has got to be the guy that makes the play for them. Does he hold or is he trying to make something happen?
I think Octane has called this play. Look at the positioning for him. If Vance moves, Octane should see him. Thieves, well, they probably don't know a whole lot of the positioning. Attach is already going to go down. Vance, a van is all that steps between him and Octane as he tries to get into a better position.
He hasn't seen him.
It doesn't matter. His teammates are dying.
He hasn't seen him, though. Is he going to get a bit of good timing? Yes, he is. Vance stays alive. Cammy finds one. 2v2.
And there's going to be Cammy going down. It's now Vance for a 1 versus 2, but positioning is not his friend here. That is already being diffused. He basically has to fly and check the bomb straight away. Looking for it. Timing is off. It's behind the block and down he will fall. Vance, although he finds a kill onto Octane, is too far out of the action.
Yeah, it's planted really for him playing over towards the luggage side. That's where you can kind of pick it from. Draza's holding that angle. Pants, when he goes up towards top bedroom, knows that the round is pretty much chalked. Can't see the bomb. And it's a difficult one. To get some really good timing on Octane, who actually played it pretty well. It was just chips in the night. A bit of bad COD timing on his part. Was why he died and why the round become winnable for Minnesota Røkkr, even though their teammate, Bantz's teammates, were falling towards the site. So nicely done by Thieves to find those kills and just put the pressure on. Draza sitting at 8-1. It's a really impressive performance from Thieves so far, and Røkkr are going to try and answer with some aggression in the mid-map once again.
Oh, they're not hanging about. They've fully gone A, and Røkkr have fully stacked the corridor and the connector. Only Attach is going to be here, and he gets gunned by Draza. Now 9-1. Bomb down, advantage Thieves.
I think if you're Attach, you've got to expect somebody's going to be there. You sent 4 men over towards B and mid, seen nothing. They are, of course, going to have just taken every single opportunity to get themselves embedded over towards the A side. Now Bant's left for a 1 versus 4. We've seen a 1v4 on this map before, Pricey. This is not going to be one of them, or is it? Now make it a 1v3.
Well, Abeezy managed to do it in 12 seconds. Bants might be a little bit slower, and that means the time will go against him. Looking for the players, and Kenny will gun him before we get any magical moments here on this map. LA Thieves firing back with full force in the S&D.
Yeah, I don't think any of us really believe that could potentially happen, but it's nice to line it up if it does. Bant's just a difficult position to be in. And yeah, for me, like, I think I'm not going to blame the round unattached. Of course, Thieves played that one well, but you've got to expect somebody inside a luggage when you make that push there. Thieves just seen that they had complete control of the site and ran with it. Hold it down. It's just so likely somebody's going to be in towards the luggage side. You're giving up complete control of it. Nicely done from Thieves. Very quick bounce back from that really poor hard point. 5-1 to the good. Looking to close this one out now.
Is going to find Bants as well and keeps on going. Eventually going to be traded down. Cammy has the sniper out. Hey, I suppose if nothing else works, change tactics. 3 versus 3. Røkkr have been a little bit hesitant towards both bomb sites on this S&D. Not getting bombed down, not taking control. They've done it again, a passive playstyle time.
That's kind of like my ranked play tactics. I'm losing 5-1. Just bring the sniper out and see what magic I can conjure. Usually it's not a great deal, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say it's none. Wand is broken, but at the moment we're going to see if Røkkr can do better.
What's the play? Octane will be watching the cross. Have Røkkr even got this bomb down more than once? I don't think they have. Fame, though, with an important kill. Watching the flank. Does he know a second is there, though? The second one's going to push through Fame. Turns and burns onto Envoy. Now a 3 versus 1 in favor of Røkkr. Finally gets something sustainable on the board here. Octane, can he find the 1v3?
Oh, wait a minute. Found the first. Cammy, do not miss with the sniper again. Octane is ready. And he has the time. Doesn't have a dead silence. Cammy will not miss a second time. And Røkkr get one more back on the board, but this may be too little too late.
And honestly, you know, you see the round go over towards Røkkr. We talk about LA Thieves preventing plants. In terms of everybody else in the CDL, they are at the top of that list. But when it does come down to those plants going down, not so hot on the retake. So if that bomb can get down, which is very difficult to do, then you may be in a good spot for Røkkr. So can they find some sort of advantage this way or that? Still have a defense to hold on their side of things. Them starting to heat up just a little bit, sitting at 5 and 6 but attach. Slow in game number 2 as well. We said it is probably going to take him a little bit of time to get accustomed to it once more, but it's a big stack towards the middle. It's a fat nade on the Bants of Fame's head, and that might be the game.
Well, I think it is. Cammy left in a 1 versus 4. I don't even think Cold War Cammy could get this one in the bag. Has to run across, knows there's going to be trouble. Hasn't even popped his daddy yet. It's going to find the butt of Octane. But while he nips at it, he doesn't get anything more.
Nothing to be found. LA Thieves answering back very, very quickly and convincingly. For all that's a decent enough map for Minnesota Røkkr when it comes down to search and destroy. Not decent enough. Solid work out of Thieves, and that is as convincing as map number 1 was. This time in the search. Draws sitting 11 and 2. It was hard to kind of gas Thieves. They just ran through them. Yeah. Every single gunfight seemed to be going their way. And the only rounds we've seen go towards Røkkr is when Fame popped off and then Cammy found a really good gunfight onto Octane. That's one that Røkkr will want to replay back and see how they can do more, because they did very, very little.
This is how one-sided I thought that S&D was. When Octane was left alive in a 1 versus 3 and he got attached, I thought he probably would do it. I genuinely believed he was going to make the clutch. That's how unbelievable was Draza. Just took over in every part of the map. Røkkr unable to get a bomb down. Unable to deflect really anything that Thieves were trying. And from what was a hard point that went towards Røkkr, Thieves just smacked them back out of the park in the S&D. What happens for the rest of this series?
It's a really difficult one to understand, to be honest with you. Honestly, I really actually I want to give a lot of credit over towards Thieves. Røkkr tried to change things up. We've seen them push into the mid-map multiple times as a 4-man. Thieves giving them absolutely nothing, just playing their own game. Nice and slow and steady on these attacks. Just really well played. Nothing to really talk about in terms of the Røkkr side of things. They're going to have to bring something a little bit different in this control. More like map number 1, hopefully, from their side.
Well, I'm just happy to see these two teams go to work. Of course, coming up the rest of this series, at least 2 more maps from Minnesota Røkkr and LA Thieves. The control is next. We head over to Expo. After that, who knows where we end. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you for more action in the Call of Duty League.
No, that's not appropriate for a CDL interview. I don't have any appropriate ones. I have families.
And that's probably a good thing. We don't need more fines.
I don't.
Hello, my name is Bryce and I'm a caster for the Call of Duty League. I have the pleasure today to talk to Sam LaRue, better known as Octane. First of all, how are you?
I am fantastic, Bryce. I totally did not miss the interview yesterday that I was supposed to be doing, and this was recorded on time as expected.
Yes, we will certainly pretend that is the truth for now. All right, so let's move into the quickfire MVP yes or no questions.
Okay.
Do you think you're better than me at Call of Duty?
Yes. Undoubtedly.
You need to add that part. You're a great singer.
Hell no.
Are you engaged?
Yes.
Is Envoy funnier than you?
No. The most no possible. Super no.
Do you chew gum loudly?
Yeah. Pretty obnoxious.
Do you talk with your mouth full?
Yes. It's a bad habit.
Do you watch anime?
No.
Describe the color yellow without using any color name.
The sun.
If you could drop one player in the league, who would it be?
Tyler Beasy.
Yes, good. Who wins in a 1v1? Scrap or Sensor?
Okay, so in COD, I'm going to take Scrap. If they played 100 times, I'm going to take Scrap 95 of them. In life, I'm going to take Doug.
The Champ's Curse. Was there ever a point where you thought it was real?
Major 2, I thought the Champ's Curse was potentially real. It started creeping a little bit. I was like, man, that would really suck. But thankfully, we were the ones to break it.
What's your favorite bad movie to watch?
Fast and Furious. They're so bad. They're horrifically bad.
I mean,
or like Scary Movie. I really like Scary Movie too.
Scary Movie's a good show. I really like Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift's the only except the early two, Fast 1 and 2, and the Tokyo Drift.
I don't know about 2. 1, I'll go with.
2 is
cool.
What?
2's kind of corny. 2's kind of corny.
2 Fast and Furious is great.
All right, agree to disagree.
It's great.
If you could only play one COD map for the rest of your life, and your only 2 choices were Fortress or Bocage, which would you pick?
Can I not answer? Can I like plead the fifth?
I assume so. There's no rules here.
All right, I'm pleading the fifth. I'm playing neither one of them.
Do you put milk in the bowl before cereal?
Listen to me right now. If there's any single person watching this that does that, you're a psychopath. I'm just putting it out there. Flame me all you want in Twitch chat and or YouTube chat.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
100% yes. Absolute yes.
Is water wet?
I have done extensive research and I can confidently say yes, water is indeed wet.
Jetpacks or boots on the ground?
Jetpacks. Don't even need to finish the sentence.
Who's a better player, Study or Merc?
I'm gonna go Merc. I'm gonna go Joey D. Sorry, Joe.
If you could choose one GA'd item, what would it be?
GA the Vaznev. Get that thing out of here. That shotgun sniper rifle, like, I'm good with that. Un-GAing the M4 because it's an AR's world. That's why.
Wow. Very, very biased. Will you be playing professional Call of Duty past 30?
I mean, if I can still shoot back, we'll see. I mean, Clay's doing it. Like, I gotta respect that. So, I mean, if I'm still shooting back and I'm still in the league, then why not?
Do you have any shout-outs?
Shout out to Oak Boys, shout out John Robinson, and shout out my fiance.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much, Octane, for joining us here. It's been a pleasure to run through the player profile with you, and I've had a good time. I hope you have too.
I have as well, Bryce. Thank you so much for doing this on time the first time.
The 2023 CDL Championship Weekend will be live and in person June 15th to 18th in Las Vegas at the Thomas & Mack Center, UNLV. You don't want to miss this bigger-than-life weekend, and we're almost sold out, so don't wait. Scan the QR code and get your tickets today. Look like the pros, play like the pros with the new CDL Team Packs. We've got it all, home and away, male and female versions, weapon camos, emblems, and calling cards for your favorite squads. And stay in the loop by signing up for the Call of Duty League newsletter. Keep up with breaking news, event discounts, and more. Scan the QR code on screen for more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. Yes, wonderful catch up there with Octane, a player we are watching in this series. And I've been told that the chat is having a discussion about pineapple on pizza. Ton, where do you stand?
You know what? I'm kind of going to sit on the fence of this one. I don't mind it, is what I would say. That's kind of where I'm at. It wouldn't be my go-to.
And I thought if somebody before.
If there was somebody who was like, there is free pizza on the go and it has pineapple on it, I will eat it.
I wouldn't. I don't think that's a pizza topping.
If it's not barbecue sauce lathered in barbecue sauce, but you don't want anything to do with it.
I have 2 taste buds, right? And they like meat and barbecue. And I'm not ashamed of that. Those are pizza toppings. Pineapple can get in the bin. What can't get in the bin, though, is our next map, Expo, coming up for Control. These 2 teams are going at it. More played here for Røkkr, but not a great stat line for them.
Yeah, not at all. It's interesting to see which way this one's going to go. We unfortunately do have a small issue, so we're gonna have a quick reset. But yeah, when it does come down to Expo, it's an interesting one. It's an opportunity for Røkkr, though. It has to be said. Thieves have not been in the races ever so recently, and what we see in map number 1 was a good performance out of Røkkr when it does come to that fast and furious gameplay. So whether or not that's going to transfer over towards Expo or not is a good question. LA Thieves, though, still have that caliber. At any moment here, they could go on and win this one convincingly. It wouldn't really surprise us. Map number 1 will probably cause them some cause of concern, I want to say, though, because I mean, it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. So Minnesota Røkkr may well be back into the run of things with Hardpoint, but how is their control?
See, this is the issue sometimes with statistics. And we've said it a few times over the last season, they don't always match up to reality. Realistically, Thieves having a bad run here in the qualifiers, Røkkr with a new lineup. I say new, it's kind of the old players but back into a different order. And for me, it says that we kind of have to wipe the slate clean a little bit. Expo Control for Røkkr does look good, but Thieves always look good.
Yeah, you know, I was a little bit confused with the stats that came out. I didn't read them properly the first time around, but those ones look a little bit better to me. Yeah, Minnesota sitting at 4-1. But for all the side of LA Thieves, I mean, look, they went 8-3 in the first 3 times that they played this in terms of the round count. The last 3 maps that they have played sitting at 4-7, so things have dropped down. Losing it to Florida, who are quite exceptional at this map. How are Røkkr going to fare, though, up against Thieves, who are maybe on the downtrend when it comes down to control? Røkkr find a series lead again. Stack over towards B. Thieves happy to answer it from the mid-map. Attach is an important job to do here, but the kill's starting to flow through. Well, then we'll have a knife as well. Easy enough for Bance. 4 dead. And now starting to concentrate on it. Good pivot from Røkkr.
And if they can get straight on the way here, they're going to have a good time. You can see they're already switching their focus. Getting this done, getting it in. One player on, it's a slow one, and Fame's going to miss the gunfight he wanted. Eventually will take it. This means Thieves have to swing into action to deal with him. Cammy will take care of the confusion as Fame will get another. And not the third. Envoy gets him before his teammate can fall, but Envoy will fall himself. And Røkkr said, all right, let's take advantage of this. A is gone.
Envoy must be heading to church on Sundays because gets absolutely blessed with the spawn, but isn't going to help him out. Over towards the A side. Nicely done from Røkkr. You know, a lot of teams would find those 4 kills and just be, oh, we're close to B. Just jump on it. Lovely pivot. Know where Thieves are going to be spawning. Nicely done from Røkkr, but still not an easy task. Cammy yet to die on the map. 5-0 to kick things off. Trying to stay alive for his team will have to be the tip of the spear here. And we'll have to find an opening for the rest of the squad to find a route through.
9-6 as well, and just want to stay alive. The problem is they have to break the back of Thieves. Cammy continuing to play his life. Reinforcements, though, it's a difficult one to beat. Already one player swinging into action that could do something. Draza, dramatic on the S&D and trying to find the kills here as well. Opening up for the Thieves. They try to get this B back in control.
I want to say Kenny was playing his life really well just to slow things down there. The Draza up top is going to be the biggest issue as the rest of Thieves now starting to fall through, but it's attached to find 2. 5-1 from him. This has been absurdly good from Røkkr. I don't think Thieves are going to have a chance to answer this one. 1-0 Minnesota Røkkr. Yes, it is. There you go. And honestly, that's all off the back of that first 4 kills that falls through. You're finding the push over towards the B side. You're getting a little bit of luck there. But when Thieves then feed you 4 kills immediately, the pivot over towards A, it's just far too strong to try and deal with when the setup falls through. Really, really well played from Røkkr. Good heads up play.
What is going on in these games? There's no back and forth. It's no slugfest. It's just one team battering the other team off of the map. Fortunately, control swings in rounds. So let's see if LA Thieves can do something on their attack. Not a great defense from them in the end. Minnesota Røkkr basically just went A, B, A. Okay, we've done it.
Well, in fairness, the Thieves Røkkr are actually sitting as the #1 team on the attacking side of things when it comes down to Expo. 55% of the time. Nice little percentage for the side of Røkkr. Want to try and keep this one up if they can. Draws are now just trying to get a little bit of spark control. Will get taken down. Minnesota Røkkr happy enough to give up the B side. Slowly but surely making their way through.
And you see them making a move. They want out of the spawn. They know, because Fame is sitting towards Street, that they are locking them into the tunnel spawn here. If they die, they may start getting spawn bounce. Fortunately, they get the kill. They get onto B. Thieves now desperate to hold the line.
Fame's the important player. And he was popped, runs out, but not in time for Drazza to do anything about it. Trophy gun as well will help the squad out, just trying to find as many kills as he possibly can. Looks like Røkkr are happy to give this one up. They're not too perplexed by it, but will just try and do what they can. Slow them down. Don't give them as much time as possible to find a head over towards A. Progress is slow, but steady for Thieves, yet they will get a hold of B inevitably. Let's see Røkkr now setting up all down the Spar side, over towards the top road. Octane will try to find a couple of kills to open up that spawn for his team so they can maybe try and find a rotation, just free up some lanes. Keep an eye on Octane in the minimap. If he can find a couple of kills, that might open things up for Thieves, yeah.
They're looking for them towards the back. They figured out where Cammy is, and he's found one. Tries to go for the retap. Wow. Cammy finds two towards the back of the spawn. Only Octane left alive against Attach, who tries to lock it in, and he can't. This is a big kill by Kenny, though, getting them the close spawn. They are closer away than they were.
Yeah, Kenny was the one who got the close spawn, actually, thanks to Octane forcing them away. Røkkr had to kind of back on down and then lose those spawns. If you can force them over towards the statue side, you're looking in a good position. But Fame now over towards the restaurant side will start to cause some issue. Those get dealt with. Røkkr not in a great position to defend this, Bryce.
They aren't. They can't finish his next few kills. Kenny already pushing down the players that are going to be there. That first tick is in for Thieves. Octane trying to get on the point with the rest of his teammates. Røkkr reinforcing, but that tick is moving. The second one done. The third is about to pop. The contest will come in towards the front. It's now going to be a knife fight. Cammy will find two. Bans the third. Only Envoy left. He finds the first, not the second. A breath there for Røkkr. A time to regain.
And the problem is that now for the side of Thieves, they spawn way out as well. But they know that Røkkr are going to be pushing this. Drazza, can he catch Attach? No, he cannot. Big win from Attach. Now the rest of the team going to have to push through the mid-map. Can they brute force their way through?
It is not easy to make your way forward from this position. And especially since Cammy, that'll be his second cruise of this game. He just isn't missing. He is not missing a 7 streak, 17-3.
Cold War Cammy has ascended once more. It's just such an easy one to slot in every single time that Cammy starts frying. Absurd stat line so far. And he was one of the main reasons that they got Thieves off. Found two as that break came in over towards the A side, but Thieves get a touch. Now, can they find anything else? 7 lives remaining and not a lot of time.
Cammy's still playing his life. One last push here for Thieves. Looking for them. Drazza's going to be found by Cammy. An 8 streak now as well. Cammy still moving. Will eventually drop. I don't know. With 7 seconds left to go, Envoy will run to this hill. He will dive into it and hope for it. But down he goes to Fame. Octane with the Dolphin. And they're in. They're on the point. It's only going to be a 0.7 seconds. Octane's going to be alone on it. It's a 2 versus 7. Can he get the second? Surely not. That point is within whispering distance. Octane versus Bance. Røkkr reinforcements flying through. The Cinderella story will not happen for Thieves on the attack, but my goodness, was it close.
Yeah, it got really close, and that's just due to their really good work initially where they find that first good push. Octane, he knows he has to challenge because a couple of kills have fallen through. The rest of the team off the spawn needs to get him off it, needs to get it done quick. Very hard task for Octane to find a win from that position. But Røkkr, you know, when they find that initial break back, they do the right thing. They push up towards the street side and Attach finding that first kill. When Thieves are coming off the respawn relatively close, they're going to be in close contention for that power position, I want to say. They don't find a kill. Vitally important that Røkkr did. 2-0 up now, and attack and defense underneath their belt and onto what you want to call the more favored side for them. 55% of the time they're finding their attacking rounds. Can they find one as quickly as they did in round number 1?
Oh, they're trying to do it again. Attach still holding the top here. That's a huge challenge to Octane. Now has to get out of the corner. Does eventually, but falls to Envoy. A much better setup here for Thieves as they start pushing all of Minnesota back into the respawn.
Thieves kind of play this a little bit different towards Røkkr. You see Røkkr setting up all the way down the spar side and then maybe flirting with a retake. Thieves send a lot of men over towards top bar and over towards B and push them back. They do not want Røkkr to get anything here. Røkkr seem to be willing to give up B. Thieves seemingly absolutely not. That then negates away your control over towards the roadside. An important kill for Kenny to find, and we'll look for a couple of more, but Cammy ready and waiting. So now an opportunity for Røkkr to rotate over towards A if they want.
Cammy's been found by Octane. Octane will call him out. Cammy gets a kill regardless. But now B should be captured. Røkkr will sacrifice Cammy for the greater good. Octane looking to get a little bit of a pinch and finds Cammy again. Trying to farm him himself. Eventually a chow too far, overheated. And this is still far from over. 1 minute 50 left on the clock. Lives about even.
Now the spawn side setup starts to come through for Thieves. Octane stopping Vance getting any sort of flanking control. Big kill from attached though, so it's just going to be glass control here for Røkkr. Working on just finding something off that previous attack. Fame will find another now. It's Octane having to find something for the rest of his team as Cammy and Co will then find their way through the pool side and into the point. But big kills coming through for Thieves. Setting themselves up to the roadside. You may not be able to block what's going on in the middle of the map, but you can then transfer over to help your teammates out. But Fame's still in this spawn, still causing issues.
And they'll be looking for him to shut him down. They've done it. It's a huge win there in the end. Røkkr, a little bit of time burnt, a lot of lives gone as well. 1 minute 15. This still hangs in the balance.
Røkkr know they can take their time though because they had road control. They've now pushed up into the restaurant. They just need to be slow and steady. They know they find a couple of kills and they can jump on this point and get things rolling. But they know if they fall, they're going to be forced all the way back towards that statue spawn. A couple of kills coming in towards the bar side. Røkkr going to start to move. Envoy has to go big.
Here comes the cruise as well. It's going to force them into a different position, but Envoy doesn't care. Just keeping off that point for a little bit more time, and Cammy gets Fame. Cammy goes down. Bance alone, lonely, and down to Envoy. And all that work, all the things that they invested, it comes to nothing. And Røkkr have to start again, Ton.
Yeah, Envoy does brilliantly to find the first, catches Cammy with a streak in his hand. Looks like he gunned Bance as well. So all that hard work, you're very right, that Røkkr did, completely negated by Envoy mostly. 4 spree for him. He was really good for LA Thieves, the only really noteworthy player, and he's been very noteworthy here in round number 3. 6 in a row now for Envoy. Cruise missile in the back pocket, still an opportunity for Røkkr, but not much time to find anything with it.
Problem is, all the corners, all the aspects of it, they're not got an easy fight. They're not going to body their way through this. Røkkr will take a stab at this point, but other than that, can they really get into a position to do anything? Cammy will find one, but the train will continue running. 1.6 seconds left to go, and it's a clean up from Thieves.
Nicely done. There was definitely opportunities for Røkkr to do something there, and I love the pivot from B into glass. You know, you see a lot of teams maybe try and wrap back around through the street side, trying to get street control and slowly and methodically pick them apart, but kind of shocking. 3 members into glass and just play with the spawn, see how the spawns actually start to come in for the defensive team. Are they going to fall your way? They did, to be honest with you, but then Envoy sitting inside a restaurant breaks that wide open. It was really nice initially from Røkkr, but you got to clear every single man, especially with the man of the talent of Envoy who can cause issue there. He's on an 8th spree. Kept it going.
Oh, and this is already Thieves. They have found the gear that they need. That's 3 down already. Bance is in a position to hold off A potentially, but Kenny is out for blood. Dead silence popped. Going to be flying Cammy as well. Gets out of there. Still fighting for it. It'll find him as well. And that's going to be A gone, surely. Only attached in any sort of position.
Yeah, they know he's there as well. The call-out's starting to come through, and Kenny will just start to form over towards the glass side. You want to retake it? Yeah, good luck. Cammy up in your grill. It's going to be so easy for Kenny to find not the 3rd. It's Octane to clean it up. But the kills start to come through. Thieves lock it in. Big sprees coming in from Thieves. It was 9 or so for Envoy. It's 5 for Kenny. It was 5 for Octane. And they have started to catch fire.
And this is a very different Thieves. They are playing with confidence. They are starting to chip away at the Røkkr dominance on this map. If they can find B, a very doable task in the next minute 40 seconds, it's all tied up.
That's the play on the cruise missile. Is he going to be able to find anything where the information would be brilliant? Starting about it in, not going to find anything. Røkkr sitting tight, but the vice is slowly tightening. Big kill coming in from Cammy. Minute and 21 to go. Still so much time for Thieves to find something here.
Octane runs away and plays his life.
Yep.
And that will be a problem for Røkkr. They will have to deal with him. They cannot leave him back here.
Yeah, they're digging him out. Yep, nicely done. And that's the kind of thing you've got to do. Like, you cannot leave a player like that lingering behind you just to cause issue. Now you know exactly where the rest of them are. You know they're all dead off the respawn. Just have to worry about one direction now. Well cleared out from Røkkr.
Actually staying alive there. A player was about to come and get him. Røkkr are slowly losing a bit of map control, though. It could be an issue for them, but it's a huge kill from Attach. Cammy gets 2 as well. And every single time this happens, it slows down Thieves. They still need to find one break ton.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that Attach is now pushing forward, so wanting to get a hold of that statue control, spawning Thieves so far away. Kill starting to come in here for the side of Røkkr. If you're Thieves, you've got maybe one more roll at this one.
Wait a minute, Thieves are in a good position. Fame will have to hold, have to hit at the right moment. Cammy still finding players. Thieves are going to be in here. They're going to have numbers. Kenny will find Cammy. Attach finds Kenny. Fame looking to see if anybody's here, but nobody available for him to shoot. Bound to find another one. And Thieves are relying on one last player, one last roll of the dice. It's Octane, and down he falls. And this control is over. Røkkr in the respawns. Thieves came to life. They could not get over that final step ton.
It's just like flickers of greatness from Thieves, isn't it? Every now and then we get reminded of who exactly they are, but honestly, Røkkr very solid across the board. Didn't panic, played it correctly, cleared out their flank as much as they could. From then on in, Thieves, I don't want to say it was one by one, but it was very linear. It's difficult to find a breakthrough when a team is fully set up over towards that B side. I want to say that Fame and Cammy just played it so well, just staying alive. Attach really had a good game as well. The first good map we've really seen from him in this series. Didn't need to do anything in map number 1. Did need to do stuff there though. 23 and 18. Impressive return to form. But Cammy again. Huge game from him. Topping the leaderboard by some distance in the damage department. Good game from Cammy. Minnesota Røkkr closing out and finding a lead again. And we're heading into a hard point. If they play the same way as they did in map number 1, Thieves are in big trouble.
They really are. Probably one of the most overused thing when talking about Cammy is referring to his old performance. But I will say this. Realistically, I was worried about this roster move, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you an inkling. Cammy and Attach didn't appear to work brilliantly together in this old roster. Cammy got significantly better after Attach was left out, and I was worried that maybe the combination of them again would mean that Cammy would drop back down. But it hasn't happened. I don't know whether Cammy's now happy playing a little bit faster. We see him roping out the Vaznev. He's having fun with that as well. He seems more confident. He seems to be playing better on a completely different level to what he was. So I was wrong, and sometimes I'm happy to be wrong.
It happens more often than you think, man. Actually, we just don't tell you. No, look, a really good performance from Røkkr. And again, if you've got, I mean, when they signed Cammy, that's the kind of Cammy that they wanted to get a hold of. You're thinking about his glory days on the Ultra side. You want that level from Cammy. So stunned that they're 2-1 up that they didn't even move. Minnesota Røkkr 3-1 on the control and in such a good position. Over the last 5 series, they only managed to take 1 map off the LA Thieves. This one, they already have 2. It's a good start to the potential comeback, specifically against the Thieves, and potential comeback for a run at champs. This will be a massively important win for Røkkr. And honestly, coming into this, I said they needed the win, but I really wasn't expecting it. Even with Thieves' poor performance so far, I did think they'd have enough still to deal with Røkkr. They may well still have that enough, I want to say, to deal with them, but they have not made it easy at all. This win for Røkkr would be massive in their run at champs.
It really will. Something that a lot of people wouldn't have expected them to walk away with. Nobody would have predicted that Thieves would struggle coming out of the back of last major. Nobody had thought that Røkkr would be in the ascendance against them like this. Fortress Hardpoint is up next. What happens there, Ton? I really don't know. Røkkr are just looking different in respawns.
I mean, when I'm not even going to delve into the stats, to be honest with you, because I looked at them in terms of map number 1. Everything pointed towards Thieves, and they got smoked. So, I mean, at this stage, I could write them off in terms of Minnesota being the worst rotating team in the game. They need to improve on that. You can't let it happen on Fortress. Teams will drop full 60s on your forehead when it comes down to P3 specifically. You need to make sure you are rotating to that one at least. But with the way that things went in map number 1, LA Thieves will be significantly worried, and it's a nice one for Attach as well. Typically a 1.07 on this map, leading the Røkkr lineup in terms of the KD ratio. Might be a nice comfortable one for him to slot into after what was a good performance in map number 3, starting to warm up into this series on his return in the CDL. I, for one, am welcoming it. It kind of felt weird without Attach in there. I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to see him back in the roster.
It's always nice to see everybody in the roster. In fact, I wish all players could be in all rosters, because there are
12
so
man
many.
team.
I think for me, it's always one of these weird ones. Like a big fan of Afro, and I hope he bounces back into whatever next iteration we see him in. But you are right. It's great to see Attach back in the roster and doing well. For Røkkr, it has been a rough ride, is probably the best way to talk about it. The confidence, the stock in this team has dropped to an all-time low. A win against Thieves here would be pretty big for them.
You know, for all I've just talked about Attach having a good KD specifically on this map, KD is very much something we don't like to talk of too much and put too much stock into it. You know, we just, when it comes down to this team, look, small sample size, but it's about trying to find that special source of the ingredients that you have to then put it together, right? I mean, look, everybody in their own right, you talk about Afro. Last year was phenomenal. Maybe he hadn't found his form on this game, but I mean, you think back to Boston, where looked like the best player on the game for a weekend. You know, we know that Afro can bring those levels, but something just has not necessarily worked with this Røkkr team over this season. Has it finally been pieced together correctly? So far, so good. At least in the respawns, anyway. S&D, they look terrible, but I mean, things can only get better, I suppose. But the hard point and the control was phenomenal, and they have another hard point to run into now. LA Thieves, yes, okay, the record is very good, 6-3. The whole percentage is there, the break percentage is there for both these two teams, but the important one for me, the rotations for Røkkr, they are the worst at it. Only 40% of the time they find the rotations. You have to do it when it comes down to Fortress. LA Thieves may well find those rotations, but they need to find some better holds than they did in map number 1, because the breaks were far too easy for Røkkr to find. Can they find them here in map number 4? What do we see in LSELO search and destroy to close this one out?
Anything is possible. Thieves still so good in respawns most of the time, and all they need is one to send this to a map number 5. They have the better position onto this one as well, and they're going to start cleaning up the kills as they try to hold down P1 and P2.
Yep, that spawns over towards the P2 site for the LA Thieves to kick things off. Big Envoy just trying to cause some issue, but yeah, I'm going to need to see some good rotations out of Røkkr here. Something they really have struggled on this map. Thieves themselves not struggling at all. Rotating over towards P2 though. Røkkr want to try and break what is a decent hold over towards P1. You can soak up some good time, and well, that time is not going to be much more for Draza. He should get traded out here. Is he going to hold it down? My word, Envoy there to help him out, and he's just about holding on to P1 here. Well played.
I was going to say, a little bit of a mistake from Thieves not blocking the spawn for P2, but it doesn't really matter. They are gunning their way forward at every opportunity, and Kenny wasn't even ready for that gunfight, but wins it anyway. Røkkr will have this rotation, but can they hold back the fury they are currently facing?
Wow, Attach now, they got gunned out of his socks there. Eventually does get taken down by Octane, but wow. LA Thieves have come out sprinting into this one. And Røkkr just have to compose themselves. Honestly, it was a decent enough rotation, but you just don't win your gunfights, and now you have to really fight back quite quickly. 40 seconds remaining here over towards P2. Could be about an 80-point lead by the time we head over towards Fountain, if Røkkr are not careful.
It's a missed opportunity for Røkkr. Bad somehow wins that gunfight, and they get back in. Pulled from disaster there. Røkkr almost let go P2 in its entirety. And now the run over and Attach has just been slapped. Fans will get that kill back as they try to hold on to this rotation as well, but only Fame will be here. So many Thieves players now holding him down. Finds his first. The second comes through, but he cannot get the third. Røkkr will not have the rotation.
Honestly, I think if Attach finds that kill, they're golden. Draza doesn't get to be able to follow through, and then, you know what, kills just kind of spill their way through after that one, don't they? LA Thieves will find a rotation, and for Røkkr, when they found that initial break over towards P2, they still had the spawns over towards the stable side, so P3 rotation was looking lovely. But Attach, as you said, gets absolutely good, but Vance is in.
He's in, but there aren't enough players. The trade has not been good enough. Cammy alone. He knows there'll be players looking over him as well. Cannot get through. Vance keeps finding kills, but one kill does not a hill break make.
I was about to say, Røkkr are kind of keeping that pressure on. The stable spawns are there, nice and close. You find a kill, you keep the pressure on, you keep the damage flowing. they haven't been able to get a foothold. Kenny deletes Banson towards top maps, and he may well find another. Not quite. Attach will turn to burn. Will not find the third. Fame will, though. For all that, Røkkr can't really make this push over towards P3. They're now going to be able to set up very, very nicely over towards cannons, but is the damage already potentially done? Thieves, commanding spot here.
They're going to be trying to get through here. The slaying is actually pretty equal, but the actual playing of the game, LA Thieves are much better. And now here they come again, looking to break Røkkr one more time already. Kenny spinning as Cammy will find two. A reprieve for Minnesota.
We'll find that rotation, and we'll start to find a hold. You can find a lot of time here. I mean, you need Bans to win that gunfight, though. Kenny now will start to put some pressure on over towards the top outside. Backs against the wall for Røkkr. They could do with some good time here, and they're just leaking lives over and over again. Fame, though, can he manage to clean this one up? Is there nobody getting some time on the board here right now? 30 seconds remaining over towards cannons. Envoy will gun him. Just seems far too easy for LA Thieves to find break after break after break. And the lead may well keep growing. Never mind.
Well, if you can't hold normally, send in a Cammy. This rotation this time. Bans is in a good position for it, but he needs reinforcements. This has been a problem for Røkkr. They have allowed Thieves to dictate the pace of this game. And Blacksmith is not an easy hold.
It isn't, but they all will be very, very happy to be here first. A little bit of split here from Thieves. You can see Octane starting to work a flank over towards the door side, but he doesn't even need to be there. The rest of the team have already got the job done. Wonderful break from Thieves, and now Røkkr are going to get pinned back if they're not careful. Cammy is going to get out, though. Could be a big win, and finds it.
Goes straight back in. Fame with a Vaznev. It's a horrible fight for him to take, and he will fall as well. Another big fun fight is Attack will find one, but not the second. Thieves just using the slaying to keep Røkkr at bay.
This 30 seconds that's on offer here will put Thieves into a realm of where a full 60 will not be enough for Røkkr to bring it back. It's now past that point. 20 seconds remaining here towards Blacksmith. And now you start thinking about the rotation over towards P1 and specifically P2 as well. Bans is there to try and slow this down. But look at Thieves and how deep they are sitting now. Know that Røkkr are going to challenge for these back spawns if they possibly can do. And just sitting tight. Fame will find one. Octane will answer back and will just try to stay alive as long as he can.
Bans is going to find him, but has to win the gunfight first. Octane still looking. Eventually will get it. They have P1. Can they hold on to this and P2 is the question for Røkkr. LA Thieves continuing to just be a dominant force. They will not be bottled up and they will not be kept from the hill.
Big win from Traza there will just allow Thieves to get another point. Just start to soak up some time, which puts the pressure onto Røkkr. Do you misstep? Do you allow Thieves over towards the P2 side? You've got to worry about it. See already, Bans is starting to cover off that side. They know the money is potentially in P2 to P3. It's not all lost yet. You may well be 80 or so behind, but a decent string from P2 to P3 can get you back into the game, but you need to start winning some gunfights over towards P1. The break is there. P2 spawns still belong to them as well.
That's just trying to get this now as they hold down P2 as well. A little bit of time for Røkkr. Thieves commanding lead the entire way. Attach knows he's got a player right on him as well, and he wins the gunfight. Attach now on a 4 streak. And he goes into Overwatch. Bans going to try and hold them in here for as long as possible, and that's a bit of COD timing. Only one player escapes though, Traza.
Bans did a really good job there, finds the kill over towards top map, so he can just cut off the spawns that start to come through. So not only is there P2 rotation for the side of Røkkr, they got a good amount of time over towards P1. But importantly, had to find that kill, but Envoy now inside of Art, trying to find the push, trying to find the flank. Røkkr have got the stable spawn, so if they can hold P2 from here, they're looking good for P3 as well.
They certainly are. All of Thieves fall. They have to reset. They have to regain. Let's find out how they are feeling with LA Thieves. Listen in.
There's no one in you. I can't see it. Nice. All. P1 was. Oh shit! I'm trying to back up. You stunned me. I spawned P1. Careful. Maybe I'll back up. Running through. I might pick up my mask. I'm trying to back up too. Yeah. LP. Open. Spawn back. I got this front. Yeah. You have left. You need me. I'm trying to come get. I'm coming. I'm left. Okay. P5 and dub last 2. He jumped out gate fast. Okay, out gate. We don't have to get the one guy's P5. Yeah, spawn up and just. He one shot Cammy. One's front, one's P1. Be careful about left. P1's cam. Left from me again, bro. Watch out left. Watch out gate. Front. Top circle, one shot. Yo, throw over attacks. They have a fresh stroke. Statue still.
Just sitting on statue.
I'm backing up the feature.
Statue, get out.
Dark shit, yeah.
I'm trying to shoot.
They don't time.
Try maps. Time, yep.
That's me, gate. Low circle, cam. Low circle, cam.
I am right.
On time. One's front right too. Keep him on the trap.
20 seconds, chat. 20 seconds. We have right or no?
Right? That.
Nice.
I'm
P1 truck. Give me a
I'm city maps, okay?
No trophy. We have nades. No trophy. We have nades.
I know. Right
to the maps. Right to the
Yeah,
maps.
low maps, dead.
I'm looking right.
I'm backing
On cam.
Maps.
I'm on P1 truck.
I'm getting P5, bro. P5.
I got
I'm challenging out right.
I'm on top. I can go top.
I'm living P2.
Yeah, go.
I'm living P2. I'm back P2.
I'm
Living P2. Second on top. Give me a second.
Right.
Ready to go.
P1. On P1.
You gotta get dark. I'm good.
I can try and get dark play.
You don't mean P2.
One out versus one P2.
P2 dead.
Dark handle work. Dark handle work.
I'm living. Watch out hill in a second.
I'm trying to tell dark.
That's funny.
Cannon.
I'll see him.
I can't on time.
Hey, you got me?
I'm in
the middle of the hill laying down. Middle of the hill.
And comms maybe about as frantic as we've ever seen from Thieves. Thought they were gifted P3 at the point where we were able to hold Røkkr out entirely. The game now rests in 18 points.
Minnesota Røkkr just kept the pressure on, and they've done so over towards P4 as well. It's a wonderful break. It's Fame for 3. It's 5 in a row. Make it 6 for Fame. The SMG working just quite wonderfully so far. Draza will find him though. Blacksmith spawn or attach over towards the backside. He'll say thank you very much. Can he find a second? Not quite. Røkkr in a good position to try and break over towards this side now. 22 points for them remaining. Thieves are not too far away.
And this is difficult. This still could go to the Thieves. Can they hold Blacksmith against them? Still getting the kills, but they've wiped them out of the point here. Fame is calling in the crews. He's going to try to get them off the bounce. He knows where they'll be spawning. This is all info. It's all gravy, baby, as Fame will find too. It's 15 seconds for Røkkr. Thieves have to move. They have to contest.
10 seconds to go. Thieves, you've got to get moving. They've got the close spawns. They've got to contest as best they can. 70 seconds away from Røkkr. These fights are so important. They're all going to go towards the LA Thieves. 25 seconds remaining here. Over towards P1. This is where Røkkr are going to have to try and find their way. It's P5 we're playing. Thieves still in contention.
And Kenny has to hold on against Røkkr. Røkkr may just put a player onto this. They're going to go for P1 surely.
Still jump it. They can still jump it.
Oh, to spawn out Kenny. Could Kenny be the hero they need? They're going towards P1. Kenny might have got them into a great position. They have P1, but they don't have anything else. Kenny is now on the point. Thieves need to reinforce. There's only 2 seconds here for Røkkr. Fame trying to get the kills. He's still fighting them. Kenny alone fights attached, but he gets off the point, and that'll be it. And they fall. Kenny tried to be a hero, but just not enough for him. And Røkkr, for the first time in this season, did the impossible and took down LA Thieves. 15-1 no longer. 16-4.
What a game. And honestly, I want to give the flowers to Kenny for making the play, but I want to give the props to Fame. He knows that the spawn's going to be coming into that side because of where his teammates are spawning, and then just holds down gate. The fact that he finds those 2 kills, Thieves are not there to back Kenny up. He may well get off, but he's got a challenge. He's got to force them back. If he doesn't do that, he dies anyway. Fame on the SMG. Long may it continue. 31-31. Cammy had a hell of a game in the respawns as well, but it's all about Fame. In map number 4, 3.5k on your forehead. Fantastic. Out of Minnesota Røkkr. And a vitally important win for the Minnesota side. Well played.
And for LA Thieves, the stats read as this. 1 month ago, Major 4 champions. 0-4 in Major 4 qualifiers. 6 straight respawn losses for Thieves. What is going on in the camp? Røkkr, though, that was a win they will have prayed, begged, and borrowed for, but they got the 10 points. And probably a little bit of boosting of morale for this team.
Yeah, me, you, and everybody else's pick'ems now absolutely in the dirt. Apart from Miles, who just goes the opposite way every single week. I think he'll be sitting nice and pretty. But yeah, Minnesota Røkkr, a much better performance. You know, I want to give them a lot of credit, but Thieves have looked very, very below their average, I want to say, over this season so far. It kind of reminds me of what happened with Toronto in their previous online season after they win the major. Come back to online, look pretty average. So Thieves need to bounce back when it does come down to the land in Toronto. It is not being good so far. I think that pretty much would probably confirm losers bracket for them as well, which is not a good place to be.
No, it certainly isn't. But we're going to throw this one over to our desk to find out what they felt about that game.
Congratulations to 1738 and the other 500 people who predicted this outcome. Minnesota Røkkr upset the LA Thieves. All of the chat's channel points gone. Røkkr now up 20 points over Vegas.
Yeah, my channel points are gone too. I thought LA Thieves are going to come in here and bounce back. That is not the case. What we just saw, a little bit of honeymoon stage, but also a dynamic change in the Minnesota Røkkr. Fame being on this team, they have more, running the SMG, they have more objective play with attach as well, playing in and around the hill. It allows Cammy to push out, play those aggressive cuts as well. On that map 1, we saw it time and time again, him getting the multi-kills. And then in this game 4, Cammy actually had a minute 45 in the hill, but the big difference is Vance. He is playing his life being annoying on rotation. Something he was not allowed to do with the previous iteration of this roster because that was Afro time and time again. Or if it was both of them, and it would stop them from making the right plays on rotation. That's why we just saw them win 2 hard points. What an incredible performance against our Major 4 champions. I'm mind blown right now.
Ali, was this just Minnesota stepping up when the pressure was there, or is this actually an improved lineup? I know we only get one match, and it's against a struggling Thieves.
That is a very early call. It's tough because if I'd seen this matchup with the previous iteration of LA Thieves before these qualifiers, I would have said this was an extremely impressive win out of Minnesota Røkkr. Not that it still isn't, but the LA Thieves have been struggling throughout this entire stage now, 0-4, and it's been in the respawns. But I will say this, I definitely think we saw a new beast from Fame today. He was a sub player in Challengers. It only makes sense to put an SMG in his hand once you plug him into this roster and bring him up to the CDL. We saw, I think, what kind of player he truly is during this series, as well as Cammy once again showing what he's also capable of should he be consistent.
Yeah, that game 1, all the Challengers players took to Twitter. They're like, why did you force this man to run as a sub, an AR? Why don't you put him back on the sub? Well, he's there, and the SMG was on fire. Cammy, though, with the AR was incredible. 16-3 was the start to his control game.
Isn't that the first time I feel like all season that Cammy and Vance looked comfortable throughout an entire series? It really was. I mean, Cammy was doing his thing. You talk about that control. I think it was the second round. He was 17-3 at one point, had a sub and an AR in his hands, just finessing around top and bottom bar. Like, the man was free on the map, and that's what you want to see.
Can we look at Cammy's play? There it is. It's your Scott play of the game. It's control. It's the Cam Daddy taking over with the AR. Ali, I was watching this guy's screen, and I asked, is there anyone better in the lobby? Is Cammy the best AR, best SMG? He was running it all.
I mean, okay, yeah, maybe during this map mode, absolutely. I mean, he was 7-3 at one point, and that wasn't good enough for him. So he had to go on a 7 spree, go 17-3. He will unfortunately get shut down eventually, but Minnesota Røkkr just once again putting their foot down on expo control. And Cammy, we know what kind of player he can be. It's been kind of that tale all season of will he hit Cold War form or will he be consistent? We know what Cammy can do. We know what he's capable of. I think the question now is just getting him comfortable with his team. I think maybe we got a sneak peek of that in this series because, like Ant said, he looked incredibly comfortable throughout the entire map.
For the first time, you know, like on that map 1, I could kind of see what their vision was, like Fame and Attach, a little bit more objectively minded around the hill. But then we get to map 4, and then Cammy's in the hill the entire time. So maybe it's just a Fortress thing. But either way, the teamwork was absolutely on point today. And now, if you're a Vegas fan, you're sitting there just absolutely triggered because they're down 20 points now, and they're forced. They have to beat Seattle in their next game. So this race is getting crazy.
The race is getting tight, and they have a new leader here in Minnesota. Let's talk to the man. Back in the Røkkr uniform on the starting lineup, we got Attach joining us. Attach, what's it been like for you? This has got to be the toughest season of your career. From a starting lineup position to the bench, now back to the winning ways. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's been really tough, but I'm glad I could come in and we can cop a dub like that because, I mean, I only had 2 days of scrims.
Wow.
Coming back after a 1.5 break. Fame switched from AR to sub after he's been running it for a 1.5. So definitely a very risky thing to do and not easy, but we did it and it paid off for the first match. And I think we're only going to get better from here because even the first day of scrims, they went like all right. The second day went a little bit better. So we're still making progress, but it's not easy to just play ranked play for 8 hours a day and then come back and shoot against some of the best players in the world. But I was challenged. I was getting gunned, but I was challenged.
You look good, bro. You look good.
It's a slow incline, right? Yeah, small baby steps. Yeah. Minnesota Røkkr has definitely put you guys in the blender as far as roles and now roster changes as well. But you guys always seem to find success at the end of the road. I do want to ask, so I love asking players that kind of get sent to the bench for a little bit and then plug back into the main roster. Did you learn anything or take anything away from watching them play without you that you think you probably could bring to them being plugged back in?
I didn't really
anything from watching them, but I just kind of am trying to fit into how they were playing a little bit. Like sometimes in S&D, I'm gonna take the bomb. I just gotta do whatever I gotta do, and pretty much told Fame and Bans just like, yo, go do what you guys want to do. We're the subs, just sprint at hills, make plays, pop 2 pieces. I don't care how much time you have or anything, even though Ben had like 2 minutes the first map, just go be superstars.
Dill, I want to ask you, you sort of just talked about like your role on the team, but I remember before, you're sort of this role, like the guy who filled the gaps, and you guys weren't finding too much success. So are you a vocal at all in any ways that you maybe want to approach it differently this time when it pertains to your role on the team?
Maybe as we progress, but right now we're just trying to get as many reps in as possible. It's definitely tough just because I was away for so long. So it's like I don't really want to come in and just say, oh, we should do this, this, and this, because the metas develop over time and things change. How people play hardpoint and certain maps in S&D change as well. Yeah. So I'm honestly just trying to learn more from my teammates right now because I have a lot of catching up to do.
Wow, what a mindset. Love it.
Dylan, Røkkr fans are popping off in the chat. Everyone is excited to see you back in a starting lineup. Anything you want to say to the people who have been supporting you, watching your streams since you've been taking a break?
I want to give a big shout out to all the supporters supporting me when I was benched. Now I'm back on the team and showing love to all my teammates in the organization. And one special shout out to my good friend Crim6. He sat me down. He told me, Dylan, and I quote, I need you to play with some more curiosity. I said, is that a word? He said, I don't know, but you know what I mean. And I said, all right, I think I know what you mean. And that game, I was trying to play with curiosity. I didn't do too well, but my teammates carried me and we won, so I'm happy.
I like it. Shout out to Crim, the GOAT here in the COD world. Attached, congrats on your win. Best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
Minnesota's up 20 points over Vegas, but Vegas play at 3 o'clock against Seattle tomorrow. We still have another series to go here. Before we get to that, though, reminder, pick up your gear in game, right? The Champs Packs are out.
I have it.
They are out. You can get the Diamonds M4 as well. That sniper camo looks incredible, and the Champs Pack is a bundle fit for a king, complete with the new operator skin, weapon blueprints, and more. Rules of battle, get your 2023 Call of Duty League Champs Pack. You turned it before I could finish.
You did great, Al. You did great. Get it right now. And that's not it, Nameless.
Get your anime boogie. Get ripping and roaring with the new anime boogie tracer pack featuring blueprints with custom laser and death effects and the brand new underbarrel drill charge launcher. It's available now.
Ripping and roaring. We're going to break. When we come back, it's the final battle here on Friday night. 1 week left of qualifiers. When we return, the subliners take the stage against the Surge. Don't go anywhere. This is the Call of Duty League.